So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us. Such a enormous amount of people coming here. Thank you so much for the people who must be really interested in what we're going to say. And it's not what I am going to say, but what these experts here and virtually around the world will tell you. We're going to give you a glimpse on the real needs of retail messaging nowadays. If you have any questions, you want to interact, please do, because we hope we can make this an interactive panel session. We'll be on video, so if you have an intelligent question, trust me, it will be broadcasted, so beware. Anyway, having said this, I'm more than happy, proud, and honored to have these senior experts sitting next, close, or even virtually sitting around the world, to have them with me. I will give them a quick minute to introduce themselves and say something about their company. And if I may start with you, Onur, please.
Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Eric, for this. So I'm Onur Çıkanbekler. I'm a telecommunication professional with more than 12 years. Currently, I'm working in China Mobile International. So my main responsibilities are mainly A2P messaging and the messaging industry, and also data business, and also mobile business, which is IPX and roaming related things. So currently we are going fine. So everything will be perfect according to our view. So hopefully we will have a good presentation. I will be presenting more details about the CMI side and messaging market. Yeah, these are the main things that I would like to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On.
Yeah, good day, everyone. I'm Anand Mohan. I represent Globe Tele Services with main responsibilities of their international market. The company is around 11 years old, and something that Globe Tele Services has done is a new feature called enabling intelligence, where they have actually pumped in good amounts of money with strategic in companies and actually formed affiliate companies, from CPaaS to firewalls to AI conversational messages to authentication, digital consent management, but the core of the company remains the last mile connection through the A2P form. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Ira?
My name is Ira Cohen. It's great to be here as always. I represent a company called MMD Smart. MMD Smart began on the wholesale side of the business. We moved into retail about 8 years ago. First with SMS, we have a retail platform called MessageWiz, which is designed to improve the performance of messaging campaigns by looking at the KPIs and giving optimization tools to improve the end result. And we also have a retail voice platform called Call Center Connect, and the two basically combine together as part of our CPaaS offering.
Okay, thank you, and welcome to you as well. Nick?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Lane. I'm the Chief Insight Analyst and founder of Mobile Squared. We are a business messaging intelligence provider. We have an online portal called the Messageverse. Within that, it's got about 70 million data points covering pretty much every aspect of messaging, from all things to do with the industry, to consumer, to engagement. And yeah, looking forward to having this discussion this afternoon.
Thank you, and great having you. Last but not least, Dev, please come in.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a pleasure to be here. I wish I was there in person. However, nice to join everyone virtually. My name is Dev Patel. I'm the CIO at Tech Alpha Group. I recently joined this company and started in 2016. It started in messaging. Since then, the company's kind of expanded into applications, primarily at helping with the customer journey when it comes to e-commerce, fintech, healthcare, and consumer goods companies. We have a retail platform, kind of a bot building platform with some AI, and that's kind of the buzzword these days, right? But we've been kind of doing this at the machine learning level for some companies, Apply CX, and then we have some applications that are powering just kind of the digital marketing, performance marketing side of things as well. So pleasure to be here.
Okay, thank you. And next time, promise to be here live.
Absolutely.
We need you here live. So thank you so much anyway for joining, and honor having you. So yeah, the real needs of retail messaging nowadays. The session, by the way, is sponsored by who else than China Mobile International. So Onur, you have the honor. Onur, you have the honor to go to the stage and tell us more about it, and give us your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. Hello, everyone. I'm on.
Is it working?
I think it's not working. Yes. It's not.
There you go.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming here. So I would like to present that really nice topic, the needs of messaging market, trends, and customer expectations. I'm Onur Küçükametler. I'm working in CMI. So we are managing and operating SMS business, on top of it, other business units and mobile services. So, and here is the main topics that I would like to mention. So currently, first of all, I would like to give brief information about CMCC side and business operation between CMCC and CMI, and also some CMI iconic solutions. And after that, messaging market overview and its evolution, and also its components, just like A2P messaging, on OTT messaging, and the customer expectations on top of it. And also how does CMI combine with the market and how we provide solutions to customers. And I will close with some conclusion. So currently, I would like to give brief information about CMCC. CMCC is one of the largest telecommunication companies in the world with almost 1 billion subscribers. And actually, its official number is 975 million subscribers. And 264 countries roaming deals and 614 million 5G package customers. And CMCC has already been shortlisted in Brandsy, Fortune, and Forbes previously. So about CMI side. So currently CMI side, we are providing international services to CMCC actually. So this is the main side on CMI side. So carrier market and enterprise market and mobile user market are main products and solutions on CMI side. And we are trying to operate these business units with our mission and vision. And here is the main products of CMI. So what we as CMI provide voice solutions, A2P and P2P solutions, IPX solutions, data solutions, and value-added services and IoT solutions. So currently, I would like to start with the messaging market evolution. And actually, this is the very macro view, actually. So not a chronological order, but, about the main idea about the market. So actually, everybody knows that. So A2P, almost everything started with A2P 30 years ago. So it was really the efficient, and it started 30 years ago, and now it is still growing. That's what we can see. And also it's so based on API and digitalizations. And also after that, so communication platforms. Now we come to the point where we discuss omnichannel platforms. So now the market is really evaluating, market is changing, customer expectations are changing. That's what we can easily see. So while I would like to give brief information also about the A2P messaging market, as everybody knows, and it is still growing market, even if it is really mature. So we can easily see that there are still some growth rate, even if yes, it is slow down, but we still expect some growth. So currently we can mention that A2P messaging has a significant market size, which is it is $62 billion market size, and it is still operating, and there are trillions of messages are being transmitted between users. And also digitalization, API and CPaaS solutions and internet usage also increased these numbers surely. So and also there's supposed to be some innovations, definitely. That's what we can see from the market. So currently, the market would like to persist that growth. So the market would like to innovate, and the market would like to apply some innovations. So P2A, let's say, is going to be this innovation maybe. So, and also country-based optimizations. So every country has a different organizations and network protections. So that's why it's going to be the main component for the cost side. And also strong firewalls and smart firewalls are still being used in some countries. So that's what we can see. All the attentions are important to sustain that business growth of on A2P side. And also another component of that messaging is really important one, OTT messaging. So currently what we can see is that OTT also has a significant growth rate in the market. So as we can see, it's a $93 billion market size, and we expect to have double maybe in a few years. So as I said, the digitalization and communication platforms, APIs, and internet usage increase. So we come to a point where we discuss this incremental and growth rates. So there are many important factors that push that traffic. So as we can see, $93 billion market size, and is expected to be $254 billion market size. So this is the source is Juniper Research on this case. So as we can see that the market is growing, the numbers are growing, right? So there's supposed to be a reason why it's still growing. So A2P side and OTT side, because customer has some expectations, and also brands have some expectations from the customers as well. So currently, customer would like to stay in touch with their famous brands. So that's what we can see. And also they would like their famous brand to answer their needs and wishes. This is also really crucial. Service providers and communication channels are bridge between brands and customers. So based on that topology, so the market is growing. A customer is expecting more and more every single day. So how CMI reacts these changes, and how CMI provides the solutions to customers. So I would like to give information about CMI side as well. So currently, in order to satisfy customer needs, we keep providing and we keep increasing our partner portfolio. So currently, we as CMI has almost all possible main MNOs and more than 400 aggregator interconnections. So this is also another important tool that we provide. So this is iPortal. So this is what we provide to customers. So our customer can easily manage their business operations by using this portal. So they can easily see what's going on with their business, what's going on their business side and commercial levels. So this is really important for our customers. So they can easily see and they can easily contact with CMI side 7/24 hours. So it's going to be very important for our customers. So they keep using our iPortals, and they conduct their business accordingly. So this is the main definition of iPortal. So iConnect Customers Portal is business information consulting platform that provides one-stop shop service for customers to manage their daily operations and obtain business data. So actually voice services, SMS services, mobile services, data services, and value-added services are the main product portfolios in the iPortal. So yes, I would like to close with main comments. So as we can see, retail market is growing with incremental expectations, while traditional SMS will remain as a key component of the ecosystem, because as we mentioned, it's still providing components and solutions to OTTs as well. So as I mentioned, SMS 2.0, let's say, or RCS, I don't know. So the P2A solution is going to be maybe a game changer in the market. So that's what we expect as A2P professionals. And also OTT will continuously grow on different regions and countries. That's what we can easily see as well. And fraud management will be advanced with smart firewalls and smart technologies. And well, this is I think, according to me, it is the most important part. So we always discuss about the smart technologies. We always discuss about the firewalls, and, but at the end of the day, enterprises is going to pay the bill. So this is the most important point, according to me. So this is the main presentation from my side. I would like to thank to everybody to listen to me. If there is any questions, so I will be really happy to answer that.
Thank you, Onur. Thank you so much for sharing. Does anybody have a question for Onur? Onur, it has been so clear.
Thank you so
You
much.
see?
Yeah.
So thank you so much again for
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
presentation. Please have a seat with us and let's move in here immediately. Nick, a couple of questions actually, and I want to give them to all of you so we could to get the setting straight and to actually get the answers we all want. Nick, from your point of view, what's the retail perspective, and do we understand actually what the marketeers actually want? What can you say about the pricing and the elasticity of it, and what impact it actually has? No, I'm not finished yet. And what's the current situation with the traffic? I mean, domestic, internationally. So you have half an hour.
Okay. I forgot the first question. So what do marketers need? Marketers need a channel that they can use in a very simple and seamless and simple way, which is why SMS is very popular and should be more popular, which is why WhatsApp isn't where it should be, which is why RCS isn't anywhere near where it should be. You know, I guess these are the next ones, the big ones coming.
Is it from the demand side, the lack of demand, or is it lack of education or lack of having the right products and services?
It's lack of various components. So even from SMS, there's a lack of education there in terms of how businesses can use SMS. So for example, I spoke to a boutique hotelier, and this is going back quite a few years. And he's saying, why was I talking to him? And I was saying, well, we do messaging, we have numbers, we can show you what kind of impact and engagement this would have on your business. And he was kind of saying, well, why would I bother doing that? So we just kind of said, well, if someone checked in, so a couple checked in, and you then sent them a quick message a few minutes later, how was check-in? Come and have a drink on us. Or even just offer them 10, 20% of the bar bill. Customer experience, you potentially get those people downstairs at the cost of 6 cents, 3 cents, whatever. And all of a sudden, based on the margin of something else and the markup of alcohol, you've made money. And then they might stay.
In England?
In England.
A lot.
Anyway. But, this is the point. And then it's kind of, why would I need it? And this is certainly within the UK, the mentality of small and micro companies, of traders. Why would they need? Why should they? Education's key to everything. But then I think the flip side is we've probably got to do a better job at selling. Because again, figure that was obviously Ricardo mentioned our numbers. It's about 8% of all registered businesses that use SMS today. 8%. We're not saying that every business will or should use SMS, but the potential for organic growth is vast, and that's a key thing. I think everyone's got to remember. This is not the end of the journey, and this is why I think I am concerned about the high prices for international rates, because it's almost as if we're just kind of flog a dead horse, and we're not. We're actually at the start of this journey, and I think companies everywhere around the world need to kind of recognize that the opportunity here is massive.
Okay, Jeff, you want to bump in here?
Sure, I'll unmute myself. I have some thoughts here, of course.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I would say what marketers need, right? To piggyback on what Nick said, I would say, for marketers, I think the requirement is clarity, right? Clarity in terms of their audience, how their audience is interacting with their brand. And I believe that they also need clarity in their own KPIs. A lot of marketers today kind of just create strategy based on what's available to them. I think the education on the messaging part in terms of what's all possible with just even with SMS, sometimes it's kind of lost on them. I had an example where this is actually quite recent for us. One of our customers in the US here they were primarily sending in the past 2 years, they were sending messages to their hundreds of thousands of customers as a notification. And when we approached them, we kind of gave them the tools to kind of allow them to receive inbound messages, interact with those messages, and kind of have a conversational experience. It kind of opened up their eyes to say, these are things that we were missing completely. We were ignoring the inbound message entirely. We were losing opportunities to upsell, losing opportunities to service the customer. So I think just in, the educational part, there's a lot of work for us to be doing, but I believe that marketers require that clarity in terms of their audience, how they're behaving, what's possible, right, and what their KPIs.
Thank you. I'm so happy that we have Ira here on the panel because, of course, he has something to say.
Something to say. I've actually been speaking specifically about this for 7 years. So for years, people who sell SMS sell bulk SMS. That's what they sell. Well, we know how to sell bulk SMS. This is the price for 100,000. This is the price for 200,000. The price for 300,000. That's what SMS companies sell. But no one's talking about what is the value. And this is to Deb's point. What is the value that I'm bringing to the customer? Nick, we actually sell that exact use case. We sell to hotels that exact use case, the mobile concierge idea, which they love. And it's to bring additional sales. So we're showing them a value that they have from using our channel. We have been terrible at trying to explain the value of our product to our customers for years. This is not
As a result of only 8%, right? Is that what we can result?
That's part of it. The 8% also, we have to look. There's no reason why mom and pop shops don't use SMS. My dry cleaner uses SMS to notify me when they're closed, when they're open, and if I have stuff I didn't pick up. Why not? It's a great customer service. During COVID, my dry cleaner said, "Hey, if you can't come to the store, we have a pickup place. You can go and pick up at the curb." Great use of the channel for a service. Fantastic. From a mom and pop shop, 2 people run that place. But they saw the value in keeping contact with their customers during COVID. That was the value that they have. And unfortunately, even with these other channels, whether it's WhatsApp, RCS, or all the other channels that all of us messaging companies are now selling, we're doing the exact same thing. We're having trouble showing the value of that channel. And I think I was speaking with Nick earlier, and this particularly comes when it comes to RCS, which should be a channel that we're selling pardon my French, the shit out of, and we're not. And the reason is we don't know how to sell. Because if we're selling a product to the advertising community or the marketing community, we have no idea how to market to marketeers. We just don't know. We don't know. And I heard an interesting comment last week from Unilever, which is a huge brand that's using RCS. And Unilever said, we don't care how many people see the message. We care how much time their eyes spend on the screen, which is how marketers today look at it. How much screen time is my advertising getting? And RCS was getting 26 seconds as opposed to a banner on a website, which is getting 2 seconds as opposed to whatever the other ones were. And we don't know how to sell that. Nobody in this room, nobody in this industry knows how to sell that because people did not come from this marketing world, to this advertising. How do you sell ads? How do you sell banners? People don't know. And it's an education. It's a change of our mindset about how to do this properly.
It's a very big issue in terms of the fact that if you walk past a big issue salesperson in the UK, all they'll say is big issue.
Mhm.
They won't look at me and say, wow, you look like you know something about messaging. There's an article in here about messaging that you might be interested in. But all they say is big issue, big issue, big issue. And that's pretty much what we're doing, I think, when we're selling messaging. But again, like you're saying, we're not saying the right thing to the right people.
So what we're actually saying here until now, and we will hear a little later from the other gentleman, is actually we are too stupid to sell a fantastic product. Madam?
I think I'm
Throwing a
not
curveball
completely
here.
agree. I mean, a couple of points are really good, probably
Please,
mentioned
yes.
by Ira. It's like we sell bulk SMS. And secondly, you gave a very good example of Unilever. But let me speak about the demographics of India, where the bulk messaging for the retail is huge. I think maybe after China or so. So the brands have become really intelligent that they, because of the hike in prices, especially the international brands as well, and now the domestic ones are also coming in place, and they're saying, listen, we don't want to send bulk SMS, we want higher capture of the end users and higher ROI. So you need to provide us with the databases and all where we can target the audience. So that is already happening in India. But then in India, you have to see that there is a lot of, I mean, the majority of the population in middle class. And that middle class, they are always looking for promotional bulk messages in properties, in fooding, in retail discounts and all. So both sides actually work, but again, it's how the brands are managing the demographics and all, and the target audience. So yes, I mean, there is smart SMS which is coming, okay, on your target this audience, and they are educated, the brands over there. But yes, bulk SMS will continue, and it is actually required as well for the new enterprises that are coming who want to acquire more user base in and outside of India. India is a startup country, so we are seeing a lot of startups who are actually coming in, popping in India and selling international as well. So they need this product.
Okay. All right. Even if we do know how to sell to the marketeers, right? The advertising companies, making sure that everything, goes, and we understand even where the growth is and even how to get there, right? Even if we would. Let me go back to your point. Price elasticity. Nick. Traffic, internationally, domestically, pricing. What are we seeing right now, and what should we do? What would be your advice? If you were asked, as you are.
If I was
now?
asked, I would say drop the high international termination rates now. That would be my view. It's damaging, kind of. We did a presentation last week that showed that if we maintain the kind of organic growth that's happened between the industry between 2017 and 2021, 2022 time frame, based on organic price increases across everything, so domestic, international, so on and so forth, and then looked at that and kind of projected that forward, then the market would be worth about $50 billion by 2027. As opposed to what we're actually seeing now based on the developments of the high termination rates, exclusivity, AIT, the market will peak in terms of traffic, I think in 2025, 2026, and then spend, I think the year after it will start to decline. So what we're seeing based on, this is kind of our projections kind of reacting to where the industry is today, because obviously we're just creating a snapshot, but the industry is basically losing $14 billion or 1.4 trillion messages by 2027. That's quite powerful, I think.
I totally agree with you on this point. Actually, the pricing for the international should be dropped. I believe actually the operators have to look at this way. Okay, these are international brands. We just categorize it. Okay, OTP will be the premium, give them buffer. But for the promotionals, make the price such that people don't think about AIT, you need this product, you price them small. So you're losing out of the money, your pipes are empty. You need to use them. The operators have to think, correctly said by, owner, that us service provider are the bridge between the operators and the enterprise. We have to understand the operator situation, enterprise, what they're looking for. But operators also have to come down, lower the prices for the bulk SMS. Maybe, and different for OTPs, different for the promotion part.
So what is the operator saying?
Well, let's think again about the title of this session, which is about retail messaging. So, you go to your customer and, he's buying the notebook. You say, okay, the notebook is 50 cents. Okay. Next year you come, well, that notebook now is $3. Okay. He says, why? Did the cost of paper go up 7,000% or whatever it is? I'm bad at math. We came to our customers. We said, okay, the price of sending an SMS message to India let's use Singapore as an example. Okay. And now it's 5 times more. Why did the cost of sending an SMS message internationally go up by 5 times? Actually, it didn't go up at all. There was zero increase in cost. Customers don't understand those rapid price rises. And if you're dealing in a retail market, you have to be able to explain them rationally. And there's no rational explanation for it, except for, and I hate to use this word, greed. There's no other rational explanation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Deb? You want to come in here?
Sorry, operator, I don't mean to say it.
Yeah, I would love to hear what owner has to say, and then I can maybe chime in afterwards. Please go.
Okay, owner,
Well, I'm
you're the
on
operator here.
operator side. So actually, as this gentleman said, so, all operators are caring about, so their network protection actually. So, this is a opportunity cost. So all networks are trying to protect their networks. So they would like to close all the channels, and after that, increase the numbers, increase the rates. But of course, the opportunity cost is that the enterprises, so all cost is paid by enterprises, right? So they start complaining about this. So now all enterprises, the big enterprises, I mean, now they're thinking about the C cable design about this. So,
There you go.
this is a really important point. So that the rate side, this is really important to be solved, I guess. So that's my point, I guess.
I would
Jeff, sorry.
Yeah, I would say, I kind of look at my perspective is, I mean, I agree with what Ira said, and I understand kind of where owners coming from an operator standpoint. We look at here in the US, A2P messaging, the way it proliferated, right? And really kind of, I use this term mainly because initially the user behavior was such that there was interconnectivity among operators. So users started using messaging more, which kind of attracted the industry to create the messaging ecosystem, the CTI and the like. I think from an international standpoint, if we start kind of looking at how operators are pricing these routes, if they were to kind of understand that they need to solve for omnipresence, they need to solve their standardization for sure from the messaging technology standpoint, but they need to solve for ubiquity because at the SMS level, the competing technologies that are out there are the OTTs, and they're starting to figure it out from a standpoint of, okay, here's the rate, we're categorizing the traffic, we're going to rate it a certain way. And that's how they're going to kind of create that proliferation or just the ability for marketers to kind of tap into this network of people. And I think this is, we have to kind of, all the operators maybe have to huddle and figure out, or maybe the leaders in the operator space have to kind of understand that there needs to be a different way or different model that this pricing needs to be happening. I totally understand where owners coming from in terms of cost of, security and protecting against fraud. But SMS as an industry has been around for such a long time. There should have been investments in this already, and especially in these days, to be able to solve fraudulent cases much faster, quicker. The ecosystem should be protecting itself.
Nick, you wanted to?
In terms of the pricing, I mean, we've kind of created, I don't know, if you go back a couple of years, we have, in terms of pricing, it's race to the bottom. Because brands, the big brands are trying to push and put so much pressure on pricing to get it as low as possible. That, if that was Star Wars, this is the Empire Strikes Back, with operators now saying, right, well, actually, we're going to go the complete opposite direction and have an incredibly high price. So, I guess it's market forces. This is just a kind of an extreme reaction to what was happening maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Payback time in some cases. So what we said is actually, because the topic is, the real needs, of retail messaging nowadays. Okay, pricing elasticity, we need some lower international rates, more stability, still enough good margin for the operators, but they have to come down a little bit, and to make sure if the price is going lower, then of course fraud will be less because the business model will be less interesting. So that could also ease the way. On the other side, we need to, try and see how we can sell to the market in a real good, normal way, or to marketeers or to advertising companies. Make sure we understand that and do it in the right way. What else is needed? What else do we think might help us? Because I don't see 92% of market growth. Guys, 92% of market growth. Let it be 50. Let it be 50. Are we going to leave that just for what it is, or are we going after it in a way? And what's needed for that?
I hate the word value proposition. So
I got you.
we'll talk about performance and value. When we speak to customers, they want to understand how the SMS platform that we're giving them helps them improve the performance of their campaigns. They want to know why they're going to get better results using this than they are using other channels. And so the platform that we built includes tools to optimize to get better performance from their campaigns, including being able to stop the campaign in the middle of sending the campaign in order to optimize it, fix it, and change it. And we put in, there's a tool for measuring click-through rates, and it stops the campaign if it doesn't reach the click-through rate target. There's text optimization, there's time optimization, and all of these are based on the KPI that the customer gave us at the very beginning to make sure that they're reaching their KPI. That is what customers want. That's what they want to hear. When I use the example of Unilever and the seconds, the screen seconds, and most companies, most marketing companies, most sales teams want to know how they're going to sell more. How am I going to sell more pizza? How am I going to sell more cars? If we know the KPI, we can actually build for them a suite of solution that helps them achieve their KPI, whether it's through voice, whether it's through voice with SMS, whether it's through omni-channel, whether it's WhatsApp, it doesn't make a difference what it is. But we need to look at it then, again, not selling a bulk product, but selling a customer tailor-made bespoke solution that helps that customer achieve their desired result. It's very difficult to do because we try to automate our processes, and to do this properly, you need to have a human element that understands the customer and designs it for the customer. I believe that that's the way to go. That's what our success has been predicated on. We found those customers who are looking for the value, and we sell to those customers who look for value. The first question we tell our salespeople to ask is always, what is your KPI? We don't ask them how many messages you're selling. We don't ask them what price you want. What's your KPI? And then we start the conversation from there.
So what you're actually adding to the topic or to the answer is actually two things. Saying, listen, okay, make sure that on the tech side, so the platform has the ability to be smart enough, right, to answer to the to certain KPIs, and secondly, to make absolutely sure that that you have the service or product suite in place based on those KPIs.
Another part, which is always the most important part of sales, and that's listen. When you listen to the customer, what is the customer asking? It's always the most important thing in sales.
And that's why you're successful with us.
Well, I don't know. We teach people to listen.
Okay. So those are 5 elements. Anything else, gentlemen? Oh, Mount?
Just to add, so one thing that the operators really need to realize that currently, I'd say for like markets which are with highly populated, say WhatsApp, they have to realize that if the pricing is not brought down, the enterprise will start using more of the OTT. They are already doing it. For me,
They don't care. But whatever channel I use, as long as it costs nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. So OTT channels for people, the mindset is okay, it's communication between the family and the loved ones. Coming into the enterprise sections of it, still SMS plays a big role over there. That's why the price needs to be controlled. And yes, we have to listen to and understand the enterprise as well, because they want to increase not only their offline sales, but also the online sales, where SMS plays a really big part. And they need the target audience, they need the target demographics and regions and all. So still there is messaging, bulk messaging, and retail messaging makes a lot of sense for that. So the action has to be taken really quick rather than waiting for another 2 years or so.
Okay. So now we have already a list of, let's say, 5, 6 items which is needed, right? Do we agree on this one? We know something, roughly what is needed. We just need to execute, right?
Execution, yes.
Right? And deliver. That's the second step, right? Okay. From the audience, Nasia, of course. Thank you for your question already.
I agree with what Ira was saying earlier. It makes a lot of sense. It's very difficult to execute. What are you doing internally in your own organizations to ensure that you're enabling your people to sell to enterprises? Because there's a two-way game here, right? Is the external game, attracting and gaining the customers, and it's the internal, optimization and training and upskilling that is required from somebody to go from wholesale to enterprise sales. It's a total ball game. You can't spray and pray and you're going to get the customer when it comes to an enterprise sale. So what are you doing internally to ensure that you're actually ready to capture this market share.
Ira, and thank you so much for agreeing with the position we have, the solution we have, and come up with another challenge. Thank you so much, Nasya. No, what value, absolutely value.
Thanks,
Ira.
Nas. Thanks, Nasya. Internally, it's actually quite simple. Once the tools are built into the platform, the hard part is not selling it. The hard part is getting customers to listen to what makes it different. That's the hard part. Because everyone's used to the same service provider spiel, okay? 500,000 messages for 0.02, whatever. 1 million for 0.0198, whatever. So it's a matter of getting the customers to listen to how it's different and how they can get value from it. It's not easy to do. Our lead gen we have a big problem getting lead gen to come in for people to listen to this. We are more successful when we go to vertical events where there are actually customers and we can have conversations with them. And that's usually where we find most of our customers, because those are the places where they have 10 minutes to listen. So the problem is not the operation or the execution part. The problem is the sales part.
Okay, Dev, anything to add?
Yeah, I would agree, Doris. And I would say internally, I think that the question, for us, I think I think we need to understand the customer journey. And what I mean by that is if we're selling to a hotel, we need to understand the customer journey of what a customer of that hotel goes through from check-in to checkout, and maybe even, post-checkout, right? There's surveys and other things. So for each of these customer experience pillars, what kind of use cases can we bubble up? So there's this enablement that happens internally for us. We have kind of the typical paths within specific industries that you can take within our platform in order to achieve kind of what you're looking for. That being said, once it's presented, I believe it's still up to the marketer, up to the customer, and kind of what strategy they want to kind of move. So for us, I think we're in the same boat as Ira in terms of making sure that we have enough time in front of the customer to really explain our problem. And I think we're working on that education where we can get enough time from the customer in order to explain the problem well enough to present the solution.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen, if I may invite you for your closing words. Quick round. Ira or Onur, who wants to start?
Okay, thank you so much. As Dave mentioned, so that's really important to understand customer need in this case. So, we always think about all the technologies, all the channels, but what the exactly customer expectations. So actually, this could be the main point as far as we can see. So because customer mind is always changing. So based on the technological level and current circumstances in this life, so every kind of people, and they can think about different things. So that's why brand must understand their needs exactly. That these channels are really important to understand exactly. So what would be the customer expectations? So that's the point.
Thank you, Malan. Your takeaway.
My takeaway is pretty simple. See, the end point is that how do you engage with the customers at the end? And technology will definitely be changing and being disruptive and all. There'll be currently now there are OTT channels. There might be something coming in the future for that part, so which might disrupt that OTT channels as well. So what matters the most is the thread, is the bread, which is the A2P bulk SMS, that how it holds all these jewels of OTT. So they have to complement each other, and the operators have to realize that the pricing model has to be different. The need of the hour is now to change their strategies. Yes, you want to make your top lines, show it to your VPs and all seniors that how we are going to grow, but you don't want to become an ISP provider. And on the other side, the enterprises have to understand, okay, the SMS is intelligent enough. So the brands, they know their target audience, they know what the urban population and the target audience for the teenagers, for the youngsters, the millennials, what the rural wants. So bulk SMS is going to stay, and it has to stay as well for everyone needs.
Okay, thank you. Ira?
I think if we're talking about retail messaging, we need to split it up into a couple of pieces. One piece, Manan mentioned, is the OTP side, the bulk side. So that's one piece of it. And I think the other piece of it, the notification traffic, I'll put that in the same boat. That's a different type of traffic. Your package is going to be delivered. And people expect those to be reliable, to get there on time, to be contextually sent. I don't want to get a message about a package that I'm not expecting. And it has, on the other hand, we have marketing traffic. Marketing traffic, customer expects to see that there's going to be improvement on the performance of the marketing campaign if they use the channel. And so we need to focus again on the performance and the value. Now, in those cases, for example, latency is less important. If I get a coupon for a sweater from Zara, it can come 10 minutes later, right? It doesn't have to come that second, but we want to make sure that it gets there. We want to make sure that we're optimizing that message that's being sent to bring the most amounts of conversion, because that's what the client is looking for. So I think that if we look at, and if we, again, go back to my previous comment about listening to what the customers are asking and what they're trying to get out of what they're doing on our channels, then we're more ready for success. There's a long way to go. I'm not one of the pessimists about the industry. I hate it when other people or other things happen that screw up my business, which is what's happening all the time. But I'm not a pessimist about it. I think that these are things that are fixable. What's more difficult, and this goes back to Nick's 92%, is how do we get to the 92% and explain to them what the value is and why they should be using what we're doing.
And before we go to Nick, we'll first want to hear the closing statement from Dev. What's your message?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the retail needs are one where I think retailers need to know from us, right, what they need. And I think we need to be better at that education and show them exactly how to achieve their numbers and what they're looking for. So I think ultimately, I believe it's about education, clarity, right, which is what I think we need to get from the retailer so we can deliver solutions for that. So.
Thank you. Nick, famous last words?
I think the industry needs patience. And what I mean by that is try to look at the long-term opportunity of messaging, not the short-term gain. Because if you look at where brands spend their money, they will spend their money where the users are, where consumers are. And consumers are on messaging. So that is the next big platform. So it's going to happen. It's just a case of when.
Thank you so much. And with this, I have a closing statement. So next year, we're going to sit here again.
Yeah. Usual suspect.
I am on the delivery side, guys. I like just deliverables. So are we up to 9%, 10%? Where will we be? Anybody who would love to commit? I mean, you'll do something when you're pricing, you'll send them away, you listen far more, and you make sure that you know.
Successful. I sell out 100,000 more customers. I'm still not going to get additional percent. So I can't commit to it.
But growth is needed to be seen next year. So it's not something that I'm saying something stupid, right? I mean, there's only a whole cake to get, right, Nick? So.
India's growing. I know that US is still a big market because not only what flows in US, but flows outside US. Right? Canada, China is the likes of.
So there will be some organic growth anyway. That's what you're saying. That's not good enough. There's 92% waiting for us.
And that is how they are in prices like right now. They have to stop being aggregators and trying to do that.
Now that's a nice curveball. And with that curveball, I would like to finish. I would like to thank Dev. I would like to thank Manam, Ira, and Onur, and of course Nick. No. That's why I want to close exactly with that curveball. And thank you for that. So I want to thank my panelists dearly, heartily. I want to thank, of course, the sponsor, CMI, China Mobile International Limited. And of course, you guys out there for staying with us, listening a couple of minutes more. That was it for me for today. Fabrizio will take over for me for the next session. Stay here. We love you, man. Thank you for listening in.
you.